Welcome to Fit for Life, a podcast series devoted to helping you find the motivation, inspiration, and determination you need to achieve and exceed all of your fitness goals. Hi guys, I'm JT from MyFitMoto. I'm a nationally certified personal trainer with over 25 years of fitness experience. And I'm going to use all my years of experience and everything I've learned on my fitness journey to help you achieve your fitness goals. You know, it's interesting, in all my years involved in fitness and all the people that I've encountered throughout my fitness journey, it's interesting to speak with people about their perspective on fitness before they started their fitness journey. And as they go through it, how that perspective may have evolved and changed over time. And I say that because, we all go into our fitness journey for different reasons, right? We all start our journey for different reasons. But each of our journeys is unique to us because everybody's experience with fitness is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a unique experience. Yes, there are a lot of similarities, but we'll all face different challenges within our own specific fitness journey that's going to be unique to our experience. So that makes our experience, our fitness experience, unique to us, right? There's not going to be the same experience for everyone. You may be doing the same type of program, you may be doing a lot of the same exercises or routines and so forth, follow the same diet, but your experience is still going to be different. So we're not going to have the exact same experience, and most of us are not going to have the exact same results as we go through our fitness program. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about how to prepare for your fitness journey, how to get the right perspective and the right mindset going into your fitness program so that we can increase your chances of success. Because like I said, everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. Think about it this way. If you're getting ready to start a new job, right, you may have learned about the company, you may have done some research, or you may have spoken with some friends or family members that are currently working at the company, and you may, get an idea and a perspective of what that's going to be like. But until you actually start working yourself and get immersed in the company culture, you don't actually know what it's going to be like for you. And even with that, your experience is not going to be the same. It's going to be different, right? The way you interact with people and the way you interact and assimilate into the culture is going to be a little bit different. So this is what the topic of this podcast is going to be about. It's about giving you the right mindset and perspective going into your fitness program and trying to help you succeed, especially in the first 6 to 8 weeks, which is really a critical time for a lot of people because that's when a lot of people struggle for consistency and maintaining their program, and really where a lot of people begin to fall off because maybe they're not getting the results they want or expect. So that's a really critical time in your program. So I want to try to help you succeed so that you can get through that and continue to maintain your program on the way to long-term success. Because that first 6 to 8 weeks is so critical for a lot of people in terms of preparation and setting expectations and setting goals and being realistic about what they can and cannot accomplish during that time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on that part of your program, the first 6 to 8 weeks, and try to get you better prepared so that you can achieve and exceed your fitness goals. Okay, so you're excited about your program. That's understandable. A lot of people starting a new fitness program get really excited at the onset about getting healthier, eating smarter, eating healthier, getting more sleep, getting more exercise, being consistent with their program, and I really applaud that. That's awesome. And I'm really happy that you decided to live a healthier, more active life because it's going to pay off for you in the long run. It's going to give you a guaranteed return on your investment, okay? Now that said, there are some things that you need to be aware of that you need to prepare for along the way. Because long-term sustainable fitness, like I've said many times before, comes with a unique set of challenges. And although a lot of the challenges you might face may be similar to what other people face, they're still going to be a little bit different for you just because of your lifestyle and other variables that you bring to the table. So I want to help you achieve the long-term sustainable fitness that you deserve. And I can tell you from experience, achieving and exceeding your fitness goals is a great feeling. It really is. So that's what I want to help you do. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is fantasy versus reality. Now, I know we're all engaged in social media, myself included, right? We probably check our social feeds, 20 to 30 times a day, depending on how much free time you have on your hands. So I know, there's a lot of stuff out there, and we see a lot of stuff related to fitness in our feeds, and you may be following some of that. So I just want to caution you that there's a lot of stuff that I would categorize as nonsense when it comes to fitness. It's really a lot of eye candy that's been developed to increase the number of likes and views on particular accounts. There's really not a lot of substance there in terms of fitness value. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just trying to keep it real for you. I just want you to be aware that the stuff that you see are really just snippets of what should be a bigger, more comprehensive program. Because if you think that this one exercise that somebody demonstrated on their Instagram feed is going to transform you into the person that you see on that account, then that's highly unlikely. Because, we all bring different things to the table, different variables, so all those things will factor into your specific results. So you just have to understand that, again, that's a snippet of a much larger, more comprehensive program that you should be doing. So just set your expectations accordingly, okay? And just be real and realistic about what you can accomplish and what you will achieve based on some of the information that you come across via social media. Because like I said, more than likely, that's not going to transform you into the person that you see on that specific account. They've been doing a lot more in their program than that little snippet that they posted on their social feed, okay? Now, I'm not saying everything related to fitness on social media is useless. There is some good stuff out there. You just have to kind of weed through it, and you have to kind of learn from experience what's going to work best for you. But there is some useful stuff out there. You just have to put it all in perspective. That's all I'm saying. Because if you go into it expecting that those are results you're going to get from that little snippet that you watch on your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed, then you are going to be very discouraged and very disappointed when you don't achieve those exact same results. And there's nothing more demotivating than not getting the results you want or expect in a certain amount of time. So that's why I say just be aware that those are just little pieces of a bigger puzzle. It's like when you have a word jumble, right? And you get 3 letters. They give you 3 letters for the word, and you have to fill in the rest of the letters to figure out what the word is and to complete the puzzle. That's kind of what that's like, okay, with regard to social media and fitness. So as long as you're aware of that and you put it in the right perspective, then it's all good. So if you're like a lot of people starting a fitness program, you're probably really excited to get started, right? You're enthusiastic about it. You want to get in better shape. Like I said, you're raring to go. And you probably maybe have gone out and bought some new workout gear, a workout outfit or a couple of outfits, and you're pumped, right? You want to get in the gym. You want to start getting your program underway. And I applaud you for that. It's awesome that you're taking the first step in your fitness journey. And quite honestly, you should be enthusiastic about something that's really going to benefit you in the long term. I mean, what you're doing, the path that you're taking, is really going to benefit you in so many ways. And honestly, there's nothing that will motivate you more than positive results. Like I said, results are the big kind of pot at the end of the rainbow. Because at the end of the day, results are what we all want. Everybody that participates in a fitness program, young, old, experienced, inexperienced, we all want results from our fitness program, okay? That's universal. So we all strive to achieve the workout results we want. Because not getting those results, it's kind of like, rice without beans, chips without dip, a hot dog without a bun. You know there's something missing, so it leaves you feeling a little bit unfulfilled and disappointed. But in order to get the results you want and expect, you're going to have to get 3 things right, because there's 3 components of fitness that directly impact your results. And I'm going to cover all 3 of them in detail for you. So, your fitness results are directly dependent on 3 things: consistency, nutrition, and execution, your technique. I'm going to address each one of those things separately so that we can focus on what you need to do to achieve the results you want and the results you expect. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is consistency. Now, this is a tough one for a lot of people. Consistency is really one of the biggest challenges for people that are just starting a fitness program. Because again, this is all new to you, right? So, change in of itself is difficult for a lot of people, but when you combine that with asking your body and your mind to do things that might not want to do, well, that's a huge ask. Now, I did say ask, just to be clear. So if you have been inactive for more than 6 months, your mind and body are probably going to go, what the heck do you think you're doing here when you initially start your fitness program? Because you're used to a more sedentary life. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge and a little bit of a struggle maybe to get started. So what I would suggest is that you start small. It's okay to take a few baby steps when you're just starting your program, as opposed to jumping right into a full-blown exercise program. Even after a relatively brief absence, it can be difficult for even more experienced fitness enthusiasts to get right back into their routine. So don't put too much pressure on yourself when you're first starting out to go full speed right out of the gate. Okay, it's like kind of getting on that treadmill, right? You're not going to set the speed to 10 the first minute you step on it, right? You're going to gradually kind of warm up, get your muscles warm, get some blood flow, and then maybe ramp it up as you go from there. That's the same kind of approach I want you to take with your fitness program when you're first starting out. Okay, let's build some early successes so that we can get some accomplishments under our belt, and then we can start to add to it from there. I'm a big believer in starting small and working your way up. Trust me, there'll be plenty of opportunities to add time and intensity to your program once your body and your mind has acclimated to the new routine, okay? Because that's going to be key for you. Getting your mind and your body acclimated to the new routine. It's kind of like getting into a hot bath, right? It's best to let the water gradually fill up around you rather than plunge right in and run the risk of getting burned. You should begin by establishing a realistic, doable exercise schedule. Now, one of the key words there is doable, right? Something that's going to work with your current lifestyle. Now, 2 to 3 days, based on my experience, is usually manageable for most people. And pick a training time that works best for your current lifestyle. For example, if you're a morning person, start with morning workouts. Try to avoid a schedule that includes after work or nighttime workouts, because that doesn't work with your current lifestyle. And that's really a recipe for failure, because if it goes against what you normally do or what your schedule allows for, the chances are you're not going to be able to maintain that. So that's a big one, because there's going to be days when, work just is exhausting for you. And if you're a morning person and you're not an evening or, night person, and you've had a rough day at work and you're scheduling to have a workout after work, but you've had a particularly rough day, you're probably not going to make it to that workout. And then what happens is that one day you skip turns into 2, which turns into 3, which turns into, okay, there goes my program. So, when you're mentally and physically fatigued, the last thing you want to do is drag your ass to the gym for a workout, right? Because you're just not in that mental state to really accomplish that. Now, inevitably, you probably make excuses for skipping your workout, which, like I said, in the early stages, that can become a pattern. And then the next thing you know, you completely stop your training and you're right back into your sedentary lifestyle, which is not good. That's not where we want to be. So if you're a morning person, schedule your training for early in the morning, maybe before you start your workday. That's a great way to kind of get everything going and kind of kick off your day. I've done them myself. I've always found that those workouts kind of give me a little kind of energy boost for the rest of the day. Now, it's tiring, obviously, when you first start your workout and you're getting up and you're kind of doing it before work, but you feel like, I got something really accomplished today in terms of my personal goals because I got my workout in, and that's really a great feeling. Now, once you begin to accumulate and complete workouts, you start to build a little confidence, and your desire to do more will actually increase because you're kind of checking off some of the things that you wanted to accomplish early on in your program. And that's, like I said, that's a great way to kind of lay that foundation and build on that, because your mind will begin to embrace the new changes as a positive thing, because once it realizes, hey, I can do this, your body has no choice but to go along for the ride. It's really getting over that mental hurdle a lot of times, especially early into programs. And, like I said, eventually your physical and mental state will improve as the benefits of this new program take hold. Eventually your program becomes easier to execute and more manageable. Then, if necessary, you can step back and reevaluate your training schedule and maybe make a few tweaks here and there. Because, like I said, at this point, you'll be well on your way to doing more as you achieve even higher levels of fitness, and that's the key. Your primary objective here should be consistency, right? That's the main objective at this point, especially early in your program. That's where a lot of people struggle, maintaining that early consistency, so that should be your main focus. So you want to make sure that you continue to progress and build on that solid foundation that you've laid for yourself. Okay, so consistency, maintaining consistency is one of the key components to early success. Another key component is nutrition. Your nutrition starting and during your fitness program is going to be key to achieving the results that you want, okay? Now, depending on your specific fitness goals and what your objectives are, and also factoring in your lifestyle and other variables, achieving a good nutritional balance can sometimes be a challenge. For example, if you're someone who does a lot of traveling for work or business, or you have a job that requires you to work unusual hours, you're probably going to find it extremely difficult to maintain a good, consistent nutritional balance. Not to mention finding the time to properly train and, time your meals around your training schedule. So let me give you a few suggestions. Also, you might want to check out our other podcast titled Frequent Flyer Fitness. And basically, it's a 5-step guide to staying fit for people who have a very challenging or different type of schedule. Okay, So unfortunately, and most of you probably already know this already, but the quickest and most convenient food choices for many of us are usually the least healthy, right? Fast food and things like that, junk food, it's all relatively cheap and convenient, and there's a reason for that. Okay, because it's not usually the best things for us. Now, some of that's changing a little bit. Some of the fast food options are getting a little bit healthier. They're getting a little bit more conscious of the type of ingredients they use and so forth. But most of the stuff still typically lacks the nutritional value that's required to properly fuel your training and, as importantly, your recovery. So what happens is this usually results in a subpar or low energy training session. And one of the things I really harp on and I try to drill home with a lot of my clients is to make sure that you're fueling your fitness, right? Because if you're not fueling your fitness and you're not properly fueled going into a training session, you're not going to be able to give 100% and max effort to your training. So you're not going to get the total benefit that you normally would if you were properly fueled up, okay? And not only will it result in a poor or subpar training session, but it's also going to affect your recovery as well. And both of those things combined are going to have a negative impact on your results. Now, although meal prep in advance requires time and effort, it does eliminate some of the guesswork and some of the poor food choices that you might gravitate to or make if your schedule is a little bit challenging. So that's the benefit here. So just think about that as you contemplate whether meal prep is right for you or not. As long as you understand that proper nutrition is as important to your training results as the training itself. And your nutrition must be aligned with your training because those two things really go hand in hand. Also important is the timing of your meals. When you have your pre- and post-workout meals and your recovery meals is really important. So try to get that timing down can be a little bit challenging. So it's definitely something to factor into your entire fitness program because that's going to ultimately affect the type of results that you achieve. So just keep in mind that meal prep might be well worth your time and effort if it helps keep your nutrition aligned with your training. But only you can determine what works best with your schedule. And just to be clear, I'm certainly not suggesting that you start out by spending countless hours in the kitchen preparing your meals for the week. Your meal prep can simply start by writing down or laying out in your mind a menu for the week. Because just doing that should help you stay on track with your nutrition as you go through your training sessions for the week. And that's what this is really about, aligning your nutrition with your training sessions so you can achieve maximum results. At the end of the day, like I said, that's what everybody wants. They want results. They want to see results from their efforts. And getting your nutrition aligned with your training is going to significantly increase the chances of you achieving the results that you want and the results that you expect. So again, think about meal prep. Think about what will work for you initially to start out. If you're somebody who kind of goes off the rails easily, then maybe take the time to prepare the meals in advance. If it's more about just kind of mentally preparing the meals for the week or the meals that align with your training, then start that way. That would work. And that's something that you can do relatively easily and pretty much right away. Also, make sure that you include in that your pre and your post meals, including snacks and your hydration requirements. A lot of people fall short of that as well. And I can just tell you from experience that most people don't get enough hydration prior to, during, and after their workout. So just something as a little bit of a side note, your strength during training can diminish up to 10% if you're dehydrated. So just think about that going in before you go into your next training session. And then as you get further into your training program and the intensity and frequency of your training picks up, then I would suggest that you definitely go ahead and prepare meals in advance because that will just make it a lot easier to stay on track with your nutrition, and you'll be better able to align your nutrition with your training and ultimately get better results. So just make sure that, again, to start, that you have a plan as far as your nutrition goes for pre and post workout, and then for your recovery days. And then, like I said, as you get further into it, you might have to go ahead and prepare your meals in advance and just set aside a day where you do meal prep. I've found, for me personally, that Sundays are a great day to do some meal prep, because Sundays are more of a chill day. And it kind of, Sunday gets you thinking about the upcoming week and some of the things that you need to do to prepare. So it kind of all works together with regard to that. So one of the final key components to a successful fitness plan that I want to talk about is training technique, exercise technique. I see a lot of people using improper, incorrect training techniques when they're going through their exercise program. And it's really problematic in a lot of ways. One, it just kind of teaches and reinforces bad habits. The other thing is the potential risk of injury if you're doing a exercise the wrong way, especially if you're adding more weight and reps to a particular exercise. You really can run the risk of injuring yourself and eventually derailing your program, because if you get injured, then you're not going to be able to train properly, and it's really going to affect your results, and ultimately you're going to get discouraged and you're going to be right back to square one. So training technique is really important, and it's probably one of the more underrated things that people consider when starting a fitness program. So how you perform and execute each exercise within your training regime is really important. Now, you're going to still benefit from the exercise probably, even if you're doing it not 100% correctly. However, like I said, you run the risk of a potential program-ending injury, or you run the risk of creating muscle imbalances or other issues that you're going to have to deal with down the road. So each exercise in your routine should be executed properly so that you can achieve max results and reduce the potential risk of injury. Now, there's plenty of good online resources available to demonstrate exactly how to perform specific exercises. The challenge for you is going to be determining what exercises you want to do and what is your set and rep count to start. Okay, because a lot of people who are just starting a fitness program are unsure of where they should start. So you really kind of have to, it's kind of like a trial and error basis where you figure out how your body is going to respond to a specific set and rep count. Now, the standard is typically 3 to 4 sets and 10 to 12 reps to start. But that will vary depending on your fitness experience and your current level of fitness. I will say, as I did earlier with regard to your schedule, start small and work your way up, okay? That's the easiest way to avoid injury. Don't start out trying to pick up, the heaviest weights in the gym and start, doing your sets and rep counts. That is a potential recipe for disaster. So start small. Start with a lighter weight, and when you get to a point where the 10th or 12th rep is relatively easy to do, then you can safely bump up the weight a little bit, progressively move the weight up. Because if you're able to perform the exercise and by the 10th or 12th rep, it's still relatively easy to perform that, and you're doing it correctly, then you can probably bump the weight up. Typically, it's 5% to 10% depending on what type of exercise that you're doing. So once again, the goal here is to perform each exercise properly and safely so that you can maintain program consistency, because that is what is going to lead to positive results. Okay, so I've covered the 3 main components of a successful fitness program, which is exercise consistency, proper nutrition, and proper training technique. The next thing I want to talk about is staying motivated and maintaining momentum. Okay, and this usually hits around the third, fourth, fifth week, somewhere around there, usually weeks 4 to 6, because that's when the initial enthusiasm begins to wear off and the actual kind of grind, if you will, of the program kind of takes over. So if you've made it this far, if you've gotten into kind of week 6 of your fitness program, well, congrats. That's awesome that you're able to maintain that and stay with it, because, this is where a lot of people begin to fall off. They realize that this is not as easy maybe as they thought it was going to be, or like I said earlier, their perspective or their perception of what a successful fitness program was not based in reality, right? Like we talked about earlier. So if you've gotten to this point, that's awesome. Stay with it. I'm going to give you a little bit more information to kind of help you continue on that path of success that you've already enjoyed. So if you're feeling really good about yourself and you're feeling like you've accomplished something, that is well deserved, and you should feel good about it, right? But now's not the time to get comfortable with your early success, because right now, those weeks, like I said, 4 to 6, you're at a critical juncture of your fitness program. Because as that initial enthusiasm wears off and begins to fade, now you're left with the challenge of maintaining your motivation and your fitness focus. And like I said, this is typically where many people begin to experience some doubt. This is sometimes, it seems like it's too much work, right, for little reward. But if you're doing the things that I talked about earlier, where you're getting your nutritional requirements aligned with your training, then you should be starting to see some of those results. You should start to reap some of the benefits of your fitness program. But you still may have some questions. You still may be asking yourself, is this really all worth it? Do I have what it takes to keep going? This seems like too much work for little reward. If these are some of the questions you're asking yourself, let me assure you, you are not alone. Like I said, after the first month or so of a new fitness program, many people, as many as 70%, begin to struggle with the fitness why. Why am I putting myself through this? Why am I continuing with a fitness program? That's one of the main questions that many people struggle with early on. So, what's the answer to those questions? Well, the short answer is maintaining your fitness program will drastically improve your overall health and wellness over the long term, right? I think most of us know that, right? You'll feel better, you'll look better, and ultimately you'll remain more active as you age. You'll age much more efficiently and effectively. You'll be able to do a lot of the things that you were able to do at a younger age if you continue your fitness program. You'll be able to enjoy more of the food you like without the worry and guilt associated with strict dieting. Your mental state, your confidence, self-esteem, and your physiology will all improve. But the big but in the room, not to talk about anyone in particular here, but the big but in the room is this: results and all of the positive things I mentioned previously take time. So you have to stick with your program. That is key. Sticking with your program, maintaining exercise consistency is mandatory to achieving the results that you want. Remember how I emphasized at the beginning of the podcast the importance of understanding the difference between fantasy and reality? Well, the reality is results, real change, it takes time. In fact, it typically takes your body 4 to 6 weeks to respond to exercise, and usually 2 to 3 months to begin to exhibit noticeable changes, okay? So just keep that in mind. So don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results within the first few weeks. The results will come. You just have to stick to your plan and stay focused on maintaining consistency, proper nutrition, and execution. And do not get influenced or dissuaded by the things you see on social media or the things that you hear. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. And in order to achieve success, you have to believe in yourself and in your program. Really important. Because honestly, there's no real shortcuts. At least none that I'm aware of. And like I said, I've been doing this for over 25 years. And there's no shortcuts that I would comfortably recommend to you. You have to put in the work, the time, and the effort to reap the rewards. But I can tell you that when you do, you will be amazed at what you and your body can accomplish. I've personally witnessed some amazing transformations, and I'm not just talking about from a physical perspective. Every day, people are creating better versions of themselves through exercise. And you know what? You can too. But like I've said many times, I acknowledge it's not easy. There will be moments of doubt, there will be pain, a little suffering, but as you achieve more and begin to realize your true capabilities, all of the pieces of that fitness puzzle will begin to fit together, and you will realize, you know what? It is all worth it. Those that don't see the big picture or understand the long-term benefits typically abandon their programs and, you know what, sadly return to a sedentary lifestyle. They are left to repeat a potential endless cycle of start and stops, never realizing their full fitness potential or the satisfaction associated with achieving their fitness goals. Well, I hope my suggestions and advice help you achieve early fitness success. I believe everyone's ultimate fitness goal should be to achieve true fitness, which is long-term sustainable fitness. I also believe everyone, yes, everyone, is capable of achieving that goal. So to help you succeed on your fitness journey, I'll continue to provide additional information that you can access along the way. So check out our other podcasts and subscribe to our podcast channel. Well, I hope this motivates and inspires you to continue your fitness journey. If you need further advice or motivation, you can always email me at johnmyfitmoto@gmail.com, or you can contact me through our website, myfitmoto.com, or through our Facebook or Instagram pages. Once again, thanks for listening. I'm JT from MyFitMoto, and it's been my pleasure to help you get fit for life.